running from the potential of what you can be, guys. It's inside of you. It's always been there. Grab a buddy of yours. Say, man, me and you are gonna fucking do this together. And you're gonna be on my ass if I start slacking. I'm gonna be on your ass if I start slacking. And I'll never accept mediocre again. I'm always gonna give it my 110 fucking %. That's the only thing I can ever say a solid day's work. That's all that will ever find peace in. If you guys do not do that, I promise you, your life will haunt you for the rest of your days. If there's potential inside of you, which you know it's there, but you're too scared to tell anyone else about it, and you go on and on, get older and older and older and older, and the windows of opportunity start to close, and you knew it could have been given birth to, but you never did it, I promise you, it will haunt you. It'll be more, it's a living nightmare, dude. That fact that you have the ability to do something and you're too weak to fucking turn the key and start the engine on it is a greater disappointment and a greater burden to carry than any of this physical sweat equity or pain in the gym. Physical sweat equity or pain in the gym or sacrifice. All that is just nothing compared to a life where you're burdened by regret, guys. Two forms of pain. Pain that breaks you and the pain that changes you. That's the pain of a change right there. That's the pain of progress. The pain that destroys you isn't this shit. So all the hours and days of your lives, man. That's the heart of a champion right there. They never say it's the bicep of a champion, the ego of a champion. There's always the heart of a champion that matters. Because at the test of time, one of the most strenuous adversities of life, it's the heart and the headstrong ability to keep the pulse going, of belief when the body is shut down physically. Mentally, you survive and push through it. The heart of a champion. Not the fucking ego, not the goddamn bicep. The heart. It's the belief that supremacy exists. There's so many examples in the Olympics, and every day we see the common man with the odds against them, overcoming what people thought could never happen. And probably he didn't even think it. But there he stands victorious and a role model to all of us. Like, oh my God, we want to be him. But before he was him, he was us. What got him there was an undying belief. And every drop of sweat that came out, and every pain and ache and everything else was just a telltale sign and getting closer and closer to that dream that when we were kids of being a reality. Why not believe in it? What's the other option? There is no other option. It's a life forgotten, man.
It's what's in your mind and how you see it. Whatever the truth is, your perception on how you see that truth outweighs it 10 to 1. So it's a motivation and why you're doing it. You know, it's in the journey of getting in shape. It's a long run, right? And I failed a million times. I just kept getting up and kept getting up, you know? And so, you know, that's the greatest thing about success. If you win success right off the bat, you don't learn anything. Your real truth in learning is a failure. And when you go after an endeavor and you fall on your ass and you fail, and then you get back up and you reface it, and then you become successful, that's some sweet victory right there. That builds a confidence and unyielding willpower that anything out there is within your control.
You think I give a shit about it? You know, no, I'm here for my own reason. My belief, where I'm going. In here provides a betterment for me, a purpose for me being here. They don't exist. I don't alter my mission at hand. No one fucks with me. Because I don't allow them to. They don't pay my bills, that's why I don't give them any value. It's gotta be that way, it's gotta be unconditionally focused. You know, you're not in here embarrassed, you're not in here this. When I say commitment and belief has to be unparalleled, it's either you're in or you're out. What that means is that if you are in and you believe in yourself, no one can change that. The weak motherfuckers of the world are committed when everything's in a perfect setting. But as soon as things get hard, they start having doubts. And why are the doubts? Not because they're failing, because other people are saying stuff and they're giving value to these third-party people as if they're going to help them. No one's going to help you. No one's ever going to help you guys. You've got to help yourself. And I hate to say this, you really can't trust anyone but yourself. And if you trust yourself and you bet on yourself, you'll never lose. But if you start to put someone else's efforts in the equation, and success to your own individual path, you're going to be sadly mistaken on what comes from that path. Bet on yourself, believe in yourself. Don't allow anyone else's opinion, voice, actions to dictate what's going on. Because the further and further and further along the path you go, and the closer and closer you get to the end goal, that result, you're going to see more and more people start acting funny around you.
All these things in life, even the failures, create who you are today. You know, so therefore you can apply what you've learned in the past to make the best judgment in the future course of action. To take that first step towards greatness is very hard. That's the hardest step of everything, is that first step, right? That first step towards greatness is hard. What's a lot harder is when time expires in life and you look back on your life knowing you could have been great. That's something you can't control anymore because time's run out. The person who's standing at the end with their hand raised isn't the person with all the genetics. It isn't the person with the most potential. It's the person that has the greatest perseverance, that's always willing to get up. The difference between a champion and a loser is that they both fail. It's that the loser allows the failure to stand for life. With a champion, even though he gets knocked on his ass, finds the fortitude to stand back up, reface that endeavor until it becomes his favorite, until he wins. That's the difference. Champions get back up and do it again.
Why are we outside right now? Before we start a fucking workout. Our mind's ready, our body's ready, we've done our little pussy stretching, our muscles are ready to do this stuff. Why are we out here? Because the world's fucking out here. Everyone else has these goals in life where they hold them inside, they don't let anyone know because they don't want anyone to have them accountable for that shit. So what they do is they say they're going to do a change, but they don't tell anybody, and they kind of go about it. In the event that going about it is too tough, and they can pass judgment on just themselves without having that third party subjective nature passing it on them every fucking day as a bullshitter. Another member of the long fucking line of losers of this world where second place is good. And no matter what, they honk and cheer for you, they get behind you. Instead of being one of those subjective nature losers in life that beats you down because you're doing better than them and you're reminding them of their failures. And here it starts. Get the mind right, the body will follow. Tell the world, get a goal, achievable goal. And then day by day by day, you start to do that goal to make it the reality, guys. It's not guesswork, it's a science of intensity. And if you don't have the intensity, don't fucking come in here. Workout's done, you paid your fucking dues. You're that much closer to becoming that person you always knew you could be. I mean, isn't it about time you do that? Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. That's psychotic behavior. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work that way. You must switch up the mainframe. Switch it up if you want a different result, man. Why not try it, man? Shock the system. Start with an earthquake, man. What I mean by that is, get up at 4 in the fucking morning one day. Just one day. And go for a fucking run. Commit to one day. And see how you feel. As you're jogging it back in around 5 or something. As your neighbors are still asleep. It's like, who the fuck? What happened to old Greg, man? This is a new, who's this? That's right. The new motherfucker's here to stay. And get the fucking on my plan or get the fuck out of my way. Have you let that shut? Or do you still believe it? If you now as an adult turn back to the kid at 8 years old, the same person, is that kid proud of you? Is that kid saying, that's who I want to be? If not, open your eyes and fix the motherfucker. Stop fucking going about the day as a servant. Become the master. Run your day and stop having it run you. Believe in yourself. Be that one of 100 that has a belief instead of just fucking jaw-jab talk of intent. I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, in all honesty, if you want, there is no fundamental secret here. It's called hard work and sweat. If you have that and you're willing to provide that in exchange for a better life, well, everyone will make that deal with you. If you're willing to give up that for pride, accomplishment, feeling of self-worth, if you're willing to make that transaction, Miami Fitness is your bank. And it's
accounts open every single day for your transactions. Make your deposits every fucking day. Pay your dues. I'm the person you want to be. It's the easiest fucking equation in the world. That's a good life. That's a life remembered. That's the life I want you to live.
You can't be scared to die for the truth. The truth is the only thing that's ever going to be constant.
I was blessed to be around a very competitive family that supported me and loved me, so that's where it all started. And then the military tested it, and so I became battle tested there. And then in the sports arena, I got tested further,
It's a differential of margins that's almost unmeasurable. What is successful and what is failure, the differential are so small. We're talking about seconds. We're talking about, reps. We're talking about the finest echelon of measurement that will make or break someone's life to be successful at that moment. And once at that moment successful, that gives a birth of a lifestyle that's unbeatable, second to none. But in order to have that first success, you must ensure yourself that you're giving it all you can today. Because the future we don't know, do we? We're training for that. And when I hear people say terms like good enough, it bothers me to an nth degree, because they are saying something that is justified at the moment, but not quantitative until a future endeavor of life. So therefore, they are passing judgment on now for a future event that they knew nothing about. They're bullshitters. Good enough, if you think about it, good is a positive, enough's a negative. That's an oxymoron right there. It's hypocritical in its own sense. There is nothing that's ever good enough. The only thing that's enough is at the end of the day, the nth hour, the final hour, whatever you're fucking going for, that your hand is raised victoriously. That's when you know it's enough. And you're in the gym right now to ensure that that event goes your way. And it will never go your way, guys, if you're saying today is good enough. If you never say good enough today, I promise you tomorrow will always be enough. Whenever good enough isn't enough, you can bet tomorrow you'll have enough. The small things mean as much to me as the large things, because those small things add up to be more and more and more. They create the big thing. The big thing isn't just one. It's trained for, it's fought for. In the training, in the gym, in those moments of character testing, of morality, integrity, that everyone seems to fail these days. Who stands up, picks up the trash when no one's looking? Who does that? The same person that's on top of the podium later in life. They go hand in hand. It's a heartbeat, guys, at the end that really wins it. At the toppest level of competition, everyone's got the talent, everyone's got the perseverance, everyone has it all, and everyone wants it, but somebody wants it more. Someone's heartbeat is constantly beating for it. Not just when people are watching, not just in training, but when they're sleeping or dreaming of it, it's a constant cycle. How do you know when you're on the right path? When the small nuances in life that people don't really value and consider a nuisance isn't this shit. It's later in life knowing you could have been more, and all that's left is you and the fucking mirror and tears of a possibility left that you allowed to die. Own your fucking life, guys. You have every opportunity. There's no excuse not to be the hardest motherfucking worker in the room. In all your endeavors, schoolwork, the gym, your career, your relationship, your needs attached to it. It's gotta mean more than anything. The kid inside of you, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever age you are, when you were a kid, big dreams, big aspirations, anything's possible, every window's wide open to you. To fight more. Because success doesn't know these things about cold or early or tired. It just knows if you showed up or not. The difference between someone successful and someone that's not successful is not their ability. Because this world is filled with people who's never achieved their true ability. The differential is their desire. Workout's done, you paid your fucking dues. You're that much closer to becoming that person you always knew you could be. I mean, isn't it about time you do that? Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. That's psychotic behavior. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work that way. You must switch up the mainframe. Switch it up if you want a different result, man. Why not try it, man? Shock the system. Start with an earthquake, man. What I mean by that is, yeah, get up at 4 in the fucking morning one day. Just one day. And go for a fucking run. Commit to one day. And see how you feel. As you're jogging it back in around 5 or something. As your neighbors are still asleep. Or as you're jogging it back in at 6 o'clock. And your neighbor's just getting up, grabbing the coffee, looking outside. Wondering, what the day's gonna hold for them. Well, your day's already provided something for you. You see how that works? Mentally, you feel like, wow, man, that was fucking alive. And then you go about your day at work, and your coworkers like, who the fuck? What happened to old Greg, man? This is a new. Who's this? That's right, the new motherfucker's here to stay. And get the fucking on my plan, or get the fuck out of my way. That's how you run it, man. But you won't get to know what I'm talking about, man. You can't look at a picture of something of Hawaii and feel the cool breeze and the warm water. You gotta be there, man. You can't talk it all the time, you gotta walk it. Commit to one day, try it, see how it feels. Getting up that fucking early when everyone else is asleep, or when it's that cold. When everybody else says, no, this is not comfortable, we shouldn't do this. You say, yes, motherfucker, I'm gonna introduce myself to it. And who that person is, we don't know. Who could it be? It's exciting, man. Because the way you feel after that, as exhausted or as how unpleasant as the experience might be, the after effect on how prideful you feel, man. That's something you're either gonna love or not. And if you love it, dude, you're on your journey to something magical about yourself that stands the test of time, and no matter what happens in front of you, you are character true, code of conduct pure. I know who you are because you're the same person. In adversity, in victory, in defeat, it doesn't get turned off ever. Excellence, I said before, guys, is not an accident in somebody's life. It's a habitual habit that's trained and perfected and then remastered every single day in everything they do. You know you're on the right path when these small things, the momentum builders, hold value to yourself. When you stamp your name on something and it means something. Come check it out, I did this. Not hoping someone doesn't see it. The fact you know it exists is enough.